Hey guys, welcome back to Status Dramaticus. So today we are going to discuss about structure of spinal cord. I'll be uploading the notes of this video on my Telegram channel Status Dramaticus, link in the description. So this is the outline of this video. First we'll talk about the gross appearance of spinal cord, then the gray matter of spinal cord, then the white matter of spinal cord. Timestamps will be available in the description. So let's get started. First we have the gross appearance of spinal cord. So this is a diagram which I took from Snell's Neuroanatomy, which is an excellent book for reading neuroanatomy. So as you can see, there's a spinal cord with meninges covering the spinal cord and the spinal nerves emerging at each level from the spinal cord. So we have the pia mater, which is pink in color in this diagram. Then we have the arachnoid matter, which is blue. Then there is a green dura mater. So these are the meninges, pia, arachnoid and dura mater. In the spinal cord, on the anterior, we can see a central anterior median fissure, okay, which runs all along the spinal cord till the end. And on the posterior side, we can see a sulcus, which is called posterior median sulcus. So grossly, we can see all these features on a spinal cord. Then we all know that spinal cord is made up of 33 segments. So it consists of 8 cervical segments, then 12 thoracic segments, 5 lumbar segments, 5 sacral segments and 1 coccygeal segment. On the spinal cord, on gross appearance, it shows 2 enlargements at the cervical and lumbar region. This is due to the origin of brachial plexus from cervical enlargement and the origin of lumbar plexus from the lumbar enlargement. Okay, so the spinal cord ends as conus medullaris, and the pia mater of the spinal cord, it extends and finally ends as filum terminal. So the pia mater extension till coccyx is called the filum terminal. So spinal cord is roughly cylindrical in shape. The extent is from the medulla superiorly and ends as conus medullaris at the lower border of L1 vertebra. Okay, so this was about the gross appearance. Now we'll talk about the gray matter of spinal cord. The gray matter of spinal cord is in the shape of H. Okay, so we have a ventral horn, then we have a dorsal horn, then we have a lateral horn in the form of a diagram H. Okay, and connecting these two sides is a central gray commissure. Okay, so this is the main structure of gray matter. So this is a flow diagram which we can easily understand. Gray matter of spinal cord is divided into anterior horn, posterior horn, lateral horn, central gray commissure. Okay, so the anterior horn is made up of nuclei in the form of medial group, lateral group and central group. So we all know that the cluster of nerve cells inside the CNS, which includes brain and spinal cord, is called nuclei, and the cluster of nerve cells outside the CNS is called ganglion. Okay, so spinal cord is part of CNS, so the cluster of nucleus is called nuclei here. Okay, so in anterior horn, nuclei in form of 3 groups, and in posterior horn there are 4 nuclei: substantia gelatinosa, nucleus proprius, nucleus dorsalis and ventral afferent nucleus. Then we will divide the central gray commissure on the basis of central cavity into anterior gray commissure and the posterior gray commissure. So this is an overview diagram of gray matter of spinal cord. Now we will go into detail of each of this. First we have the anterior horn. So what is this anterior horn? It contains the alpha and gamma efferents for descending or the motor spinal tracts. The motor spinal tracts which originate from the cortex and descending downwards finally end as alpha and gamma efferents here. Okay, so it is divided into medial group nuclei, lateral group nuclei and central group nuclei. So the medial group nuclei, it is present throughout the spinal cord and it supplies the axial muscles of the body. The lateral group nuclei, it is present only in the cervical and lumbar enlargements and it supply the muscles of limbs. And the central group nuclei, it is present only in the upper cervical segments in the form of phrenic nucleus, which supplies the diaphragm, and the nucleus of spinal accessory nerve. Okay, so this was about anterior horn. Now we'll talk about the lateral horn. Lateral horn is mainly involved with the autonomic nervous system. We all know autonomic nervous system has a thoracolumbar outflow and a craniosacral outflow. Thoracolumbar outflow is for the sympathetic nervous system and the craniosacral is for the parasympathetic nervous system. Cranial outflow mainly involves with the cranial nerves and parasympathetic ganglion and is not involved much with the spinal cord. So first we'll talk about the thoracolumbar outflow. It extends from T1 to L2 segments and it is mainly consisting of preganglionic sympathetic fibers. And the sacral parasympathetic outflow, it extends from S2 to S4 segment and consists of preganglionic parasympathetic fibers. Okay, now we'll talk about the posterior horn. We said earlier that posterior horn is consisting of 4 nuclei, and this posterior horn contains mainly the cell bodies of second order neurons for the ascending spinal tract. Ascending spinal tract carries the sensations from the periphery to the brain. So the cell bodies of the second order neuron is found in posterior horn. I'll be explaining what is the second order and first order and other orders of neuron found in the spinal tract in my later videos. So stay tuned for that. Now we'll talk about the posterior horn. First we have the substantia gelatinosa. Substantia gelatinosa is present throughout the spinal cord and it is present at the apex of the posterior horn, and the cell bodies of second order neurons for pain, temperature and touch pathways come here. Okay, then we have the nucleus proprius. It is present throughout the spinal cord, but it is anterior to the substantia gelatinosa. It is forming the large bulk of the posterior horn, and the cell bodies of second order neurons here is used for the proprioception and vibration pathways. Okay, so proprioception vibration pathway means dorsal column, medial lemniscus pathway. Pain, temperature and touch means lateral and ventral spinothalamic tract. Okay, now the next nucleus is nucleus dorsalis. It is also called Clark's column. It is found at the base of posterior horn from C8 to L4 segments. So this is not found throughout the spinal cord. It is found only from C8 to L4 segment. Thus cell bodies of second order neurons here is used for the proprioception pathways. Okay, then the final nucleus is visceral afferent nucleus. It is also not found throughout the spinal cord. It is found only from T1 to L3 segment, and it is responsible for the visceral afferent information being transferred from the viscera to the brain. So this was about the posterior horn. Now we'll see the diagram which shows all of this. So we have a substantia gelatinosa at the apex of posterior horn, then anterior to it we have nucleus proprius, a little anterior and medial we have dorsalis, and little lateral to it we'll find the visceral afferent nucleus. So this was about the posterior horn. Now we'll talk about the central gray commissure. Okay, it is a transverse gray matter surrounding the central canal. So anterior to the central canal we'll call it anterior gray commissure. Posterior to central canal it contains posterior gray commissure. That's it. Now this was all about the gray matter of spinal cord. Now we'll talk about the white matter of spinal cord. Okay, white matter of spinal cord is mainly made up of ascending and descending spinal tracts. Okay, white matter means mainly axonal fibers which are myelinated, so that gives the appearance white. So the white matter, for the sake of practical purposes, it is divided into anterior funiculi, lateral funiculi and posterior funiculi. These funiculi are also called columns. Okay, So the anterior funiculi is between anterior median fissure and emergence of the anterior root, and lateral funiculi between anterior and posterior root, and posterior funiculi between posterior root and posterior median sulcus. Okay, so these are the tracts. I'll be talking about all these tracts in my later video. So that was all about the structure of spinal cord. Now I'll give a small idea regarding how is this first, second and third order neurons are found in the ascending tract. Okay, so the first order neuron means the neuron which terminates at the sensory ending. Okay, it carries the sensation. From there it moves via the dorsal root ganglion and ends at the posterior root. Okay, so from the posterior root and the posterior horn, a new cell body is formed, that is a second order neuron, and it travels till the thalamus and synapses with the third order neuron, which originates from the thalamus and ends at the cortex. Okay, so this is just a basic idea. I'll be talking about all this in detail in my next videos. So this was all about the structure of spinal cord. So would you like me to explain any of the confusing medical topic? So head over to the comment section and tell me about it. So until next time, stay sharp.